see you.
All right. All right. Let me grab my share screen. Never easy, never on the first try. Here we go. Okay. Where is it? There it is. Awesome. All right. So I wanted to just kick things off with a little welcome letter, and then we will make sure we do a little housekeeping before we dive into the material today so that if you've got any like, hey, I didn't think I filled out so and so's, I'm lost. I didn't get my prep checklist done. No worries. We'll make sure you leave today feeling like good to go. All right? Okay, so let's just take a big collective deep breath. Exhale. Biggest exhale of your entire day. I'm going to keep an eye on the room and make sure no one's stuck in the waiting room. Okay. Okay, so I wrote this letter for the version of you who is ready to stop waiting for their full confidence, but ready to embody it. And I love, love, love that we're at the end of a year because it's going to bring such an awesome energy as we move into this new season. And I just want to say that I know how heavy it has been. And I know that we're all in different seasons and we're also in different stages of our business. But at the end of the day, we have been carrying everyone else's expectations. Or we may have been playing small within our lives to keep the peace, maybe second guessing our worth while cheering others around us on. Very likely you have spent years being the strong one, the helper, the fixer, someone to hold space, but somewhere along the way, you may have gotten a little buried under all of that holding. And that is not to guilt anyone or shame anyone. I just want you to know I see you. I've been there. And I want you to know that this container, this next 8 weeks, that's where that all ends. Because this is the moment that we start really leaning into living for ourselves so that we can serve our loved ones, our family, our clients in a new way, showing up for you louder and prouder and more unapologetic than ever before. And I like to always talk about how I don't think this is us becoming confident. I think that you've always been her, but we get stuck shrinking ourselves to make others comfortable. So this is your time to really stretch outside of your comfort zone and step into a season of very bold decisions, very clear boundaries, full body belief. And really, this container is here so that you no longer have to blend in or feel like you have to play it safe. You are here to take up space. And I want you to know that this group is your safe place, is the space where you can bring it all and test it and not be worried about falling on your face. And I want you to walk away from this feeling like you can sell in a way that feels really good in your heart and you can use your voice as a tool for more impact rather than approval. And that I really believe that all of you have already done the hardest thing, which is saying yes to yourself, to take this time for yourself. And no worries, Amelia, you're totally, totally good. Um, and really, like confidence for me is such an important piece of everything that we will do. And it is not a buzzword. It is really going to be a daily practice. And you don't have to do any of the hard stuff alone. So, again, this group is an incredible group. You are surrounded by women who get it, who are done pretending they have it all figured out, and who are brave enough to do it messy and real and loud. So, together, we are going to write a beautiful story. We're all going to have our individual journeys, but we are together on this path, and there's no more waiting for permission or selling from fear. This is really your time to lead and serve with your whole heart. And I just cannot say enough that even if you feel behind or lost, you are exactly where you are meant to be, standing at the edge of the next version of yourself. So, again, let's just take a big collective deep breath in, let it all land, and then let it out, exhale, and step into this space and know that I'm here to guide you. And I really, really want you to know you can lean on me and each other. It's such a intimate, beautiful group, and you will learn to really trust. Okay, so I'm so excited that you are all here, and I want to get through a couple housekeeping items and then we'll dive in and get to know each other on this first call. First and foremost, never in a million years do I want you to feel any sort of like pressure, obligation, guilt, whatever words about this call. If you can be here, amazing. I want you here. If life is happening, I understand. You never have to explain yourself. If you want to show up, mute, and not show your face and multitask, I honor that. If you want to not be here, listen to the replay, submit questions in advance, that's okay. There is literally no judgment. So I just want to remove any weird inner expectation of like Lisa's going to be upset or I'm, cheating myself. No, this group and this process is supposed to work within your life, not be your life. Okay. So that's why we have a Telegram group where we can have side conversation, especially if you miss a call, but even if you're on the call. And I just want you to know that you can come and go. It doesn't, if you're late or if you catch the last 5 minutes or whatever, I just need to say it because I know that we're all entrepreneurs, which means that we have that type A in us, a little bit at least. And so I just want to remove any of that weirdness of you feeling like you're failing if you can't be on a group call. This is real life. Um, okay, the other thing I wanted to pull up or bring up is kind of just, hey, Lisa, what do I have to have done? So most of you are on top of it, and I know some of you have had a lot going on too, so it's okay. Biggest thing is I want you to join a Telegram group that I actually just started today because it's gonna be easier, I think, and I'm gonna grab the link right here right now and drop it in the chat in case you missed it. So let me do that right now. But I think it'll be easier to just start a whole new group with this new cohort. And I'm actually transitioning some things into a Facebook group that you will all have access to as well. But for now, this Telegram group works really well. So I just dropped that in the chat, and that'll be a great way to communicate. Awesome. You guys are already joining. I love it. If you haven't downloaded Telegram yet, just go to your app store, download Telegram. It is free. And I like to have both the mobile app as well as the desktop app. It's really awesome on the desktop as well, especially if you're someone who's like, I don't want another app on my phone or I don't want to be on my phone any more than I have to be, then the desktop is really great. I like to have both, okay? And they're synced up. So like everything's in real time, one will show up in the other place. Then there is a client agreement, which you should have received via email. Let me know if email is funky, because I know that happens. Like sometimes our email will spam the stuff or filter it or throw it in a promotions tab, whatever the case might be. Just let me know if you feel like you need, awesome. If you feel like you need me to resend it or if we need to go in and like verify an email or something like that, keep me posted. But yeah, so client agreement, download the Telegram app and join the group, which most of you I think are have already done. And then I want to make sure everyone has portal access. So every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, you should get a email with that week's kind of like subject matter and a reminder that we've got a live call and a login link for the portal. If for whatever reason you're struggling to log in or you're having any issues there, please reach out. But that is, just again, a reminder, hey, there's fresh material that you have access to in the portal, and here's the login link to grab that. You do not have to have anything accomplished to get on this call. So please don't feel like you have to watch all the videos to get on the call. Don't ever feel like you're behind. I've had people not watch a single video in the portal, come to the live calls, and get a ton out of this container. I've had other people watch and binge the material before they get on the call. There is no right way. The right way is the way that feels good to you. And the material lives there forever so that you can revisit it a million times over the next 10 years. Okay. And I do make updates in there and you get access to those updates. Okay, so those are the biggies. Client agreement, which is just a quick Google Doc that I want you to read over, sign it, share it with me. Telegram access, portal access. And then this document that hopefully you can still see, assuming my screen is still shared and that's good to go. I'm going to also drop in the chat. And maybe that's something you can kind of bookmark. Every week, I'm going to add to this. So every week, I'll kind of have a little agenda that you can refer back to and follow along if you want. But it's just going to kind of keep us organized. And that, again, like I said, this way, if you're not really paying attention to the portal, you don't have to because you'll have it here. It's kind of everywhere so that if you're the type of learner that prefers live conversation over pre-recorded material, that still works. Like I am the worst with pre-recorded material, which is why I've kind of developed it this way. Um, I'm the type that'll like buy a program and then go through the pre-recorded material 3 years later. I don't understand why. It's just who I am, and like there's an awareness there, so I guess that says something about me, right? Okay. So, first I want to see if anyone has any questions about that housekeeping stuff. There's no bad questions. Then I would love for us to kind of get to know each other. So, I am going to pause my screen so I can see all your beautiful faces. And go ahead and just unmute or drop something in the chat if you're like, I'm having trouble with the agreement, or I don't know where to find anything, or I'm stuck. Or you can totally reach out to me separate too. Think we're all right? All good. Awesome. I know we have a lot of different time zones too. Like Amelia, I think you have the trickiest. So I again appreciate you being here. And then there might be someone popping in from Guam. We'll see. Stay tuned. And that's wild because it's like a 15-hour time difference. Yeah, she's in the UK. So cool. Um, Not that you guys care, but something I want to do as like a Christmas gift to myself is I'm gonna get a huge world map that's like as big as my wall and put like a push pin from all the different places that birth workers have worked with me from because I just think that would be so awesome. So that's my new thing. That's my Christmas gift to myself. All right, let me make sure. Okay, I have one person trying to get in here. I'm just going to respond to her really quick so she doesn't miss the whole thing. Yes. I think it's because we're all bombarded with so many things all the time. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to pull up my little agenda again so I don't forget. Let's just do a little round robin where we are going to answer 4 questions, which I will drop in the chat. And I really, really value getting to know each other and understanding each other's businesses because the backdoor coaching that happens is so valuable. And having all those different perspectives has just proven to be so amazing. So I'm going to drop some questions in the chat. And I'm happy to walk through these if you're on a phone or the chat's annoying or whatever. And we'll just kind of go down the line and no pressure. So if you, again, if you are multitasking and unable to participate, we can totally just skip you. But I just want you to share your name and how, like your preferred name and how to pronounce it and where you live or where you tuning in from. And then I want you to tell us who you serve and what you do. And then I would love to hear one word that would sum up how you want to feel by the end of this 8 weeks. So, like one word that describes how you want to feel when you walk away from this. And then the last one is some self-reflection. And this one goes a little deeper. So, like, you don't have to answer all of them, but I just want you to have a little bit of self-reflection about maybe what is a belief about you or your business that you are ready to outgrow and that you want to use this container to help you get there? Or how has maybe a fear of judgment or a fear of rejection maybe held you back from showing up fully in the past or more recently? Or what is a story or a life experience that has shaped the way you see confidence? So all 3 of these little prompts, and you like maybe pick one is around confidence. Okay. So pick whatever you feel like you want to answer. And then if you're feeling called to it, share with us. But again, there's no pressure. So anyone feeling brave and want to go first, you can literally just unmute. I'm recording, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, yay. Abby. Perfect timing.
Okay, I can go first.
All right, go for it, Katie.
Okay, well, my name is pronounced Katie, like it's spelled. Um, I serve new mothers in the postpartum period. I also, well, I have a team of postpartum doulas that provide day and night postpartum support. I worked nights as a doula for 8.5 years, so I'm having to retire that hat. And now things are shifting a little bit. I do lactation home visits too in my area of town. And reflection, what's the belief about my I'm ready to outgrow that I'm never gonna get there. Like, because that's,
Hmm.
I mean, that's just so not true. Like, I am where I am because of the steps that I took to get here. And even though, like, I went at my own pace, and that's, I'm going to keep doing that. And let's see, fear of judgment, reflection. Um, yeah, I want to start putting myself out there on social media more. It's really like, well, I'm not that I haven't been, but my face,
Yeah,
like my voice, because that's held me back. Um, I often tell my husband I feel like I'm three different people.
yeah,
But I can, yeah, I can just do the best that I can and just be me. And that's all I can do is be me.
yeah,
And so, what's one story or life? Uh, the way I see confidence,
yeah.
like
Is there
confidence
something?
in myself.
I think so, yeah, and you could take it however you want, but if someone said like, "Oh, what's your relationship to confidence? Is there something in your life that has happened that kind of shaped that? Can you pinpoint it?" And it's okay if you can't.
I guess I get confidence in helping other people feel confident.
Okay.
Since,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love it. And is there a word that you would use to describe how you want to feel at the end of this? Did I miss that?
Oh, content.
Awesome. Okay, I love that. Those are incredible answers. Okay, thanks for going first. Abby,
Uh-huh.
perfect timing. Literally, you came on and we just started the juicy stuff, so that's great.
Good. I was
Uh,
like, I hope I don't miss too much.
no, not at all. And we did like a teeny bit of housekeeping, which you've been on top of everything, so I think you're all up to speed, but we always leave room at the end for some like questions so that nobody ever walks off a call feeling incomplete. So, if there's anything you want to kind of jump into, we totally can. Okay.
Sounds
Do you
good.
want to go next?
May as well. I'm already talking.
Okay, okay,
So.
okay.
Okay, so hi, I'm Abby. Um, and you pronounce it Abby, so that's pretty easy, but and then I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, in that area. Um, And then who do I serve and what do I do? So mainly I do birth doula services and childbirth ed classes. The main clientele I serve are military moms because we live just outside of Offutt Air Force Base. So everyone here is, a pregnant military wife or active duty. And one really unique thing about that situation is they don't have say in who their provider is pretty much. So you have to go to the base clinic. You don't even get to be seen by an actual OBGYN unless you're super high risk. So it's hard. So yeah, empowering those moms is like my whole purpose. Um, and then one word I want to feel by the end of this round. This is the question that's going to trip me up.
That's okay.
That's hard to narrow it down.
Yeah. And it's okay if it changes. So really like what came to your gut or what do you feel today?
Probably just confident, like
Okay.
more confident in like my business practices because I am all over the place right now.
Okay.
So, and then self-reflection.
You can pick one or you can answer all three, like whatever you're feeling called to say.
Okay.
I love putting people on the spot. Can you tell?
I'm like, sorry, I have like two brain cells, so give me a second. Um, I guess yeah, the fear of judgment is real because like this is like the first time I hate social media as like from like a personal standpoint, but I do feel like it's necessary for my business. So that's one thing that I'm ready to just kind of have down pat.
Yeah.
And just not feel like, that weird feeling when you're like speaking your opinions and just not afraid of what people think. So, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And I'm sure you all feel like you'll hear somebody say something today and you're like, oh yeah, that's me too. Like, and there's some power in that too, to just even walk off this call and say, like, I'm not alone in feeling this way about this thing. Awesome. Beautiful. Who would like to go next? Just unmute. Love it.
Hey, um, oh, uh, don't want to like talk over anyone. Okay, um, my name is Batya. I am in Brooklyn, New York, and what's the next thing? Who do I serve? So I serve Orthodox Jewish women, mostly having their first baby. That's just how it's turned out. So I think that makes sense. I'm sticking with that. And one word that I want to feel, guess would be like accomplished. I just want to know where I'm like that I'm taking the right next steps to actually um, grow grow what brings income in this side of the business because like I'm always just doing a million things that are like different free resources,
Yeah.
but I would love to be able to channel that into paid because I haven't had so many clients. Um, I forgot to say, I mostly do childbirth education. Some doula clients, but I got three young kids, so mostly childbirth education. And so the self-reflection was the tricky part. Um, I guess I have a belief that I'm just gonna go slow with my business and I'm just gonna like do stuff that I enjoy and I'm going to like work on other things that'll hopefully bring income on the side, specifically going to nursing school, even though I'm feeling like an ick about it, and just like put this kind of on the wayside because like the priority is supporting my family. So I'm going to eventually be successful. Like it's gonna happen, but it's way far off down the road. And um, I would like it to be now actually. Like Lisa was talking about me having 5 clients a month, and I'm like, that sounds crazy because right now I'm averaging out 0. So that's something that I would love, and I would love to like actually believe that I could do that, but I'm really not there yet. I feel like in my brain that's 5 years down the road for me. So I would love to bring that closer for myself.
Amazing. These are so good. So, so, so good. All right.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Lisa.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you're all here. Like every time someone opens their mouth, I'm like, I'm so blessed to have you all in this room. All right, Amelia, how you feeling? Ready to go?
Yes, you might hear, goes in the
Always
background. Hopefully not.
okay. If I forgot
Hi,
to say
everyone.
that, it's background noise, life happening is all welcome.
Great. Great to meet you all. Thank you for the introductions and the space, Lisa. My name is Emilia. I am half Greek, half Finnish, living in the UK. So quite random. That's why this time is like dinner time. So probably like in the calls I'll be joining off camera, like in the beginning, and then kind of
Yeah.
like back on. So I recently changed a bit about who I serve. So I started supporting Greeks in Greece online as an antenatal educator and a breastfeeding counselor. Um, but I realized that probably my audience there is expats with whom I can relate. I'm an expat myself and kind of like navigated a different system with with the two girls I've got. Um, so that's why I serve. And then what was the other question?
What is a word that you would use to describe how you want to feel?
I would say clear, because I think that's linked to so many different things. So just clarity about like what my strategies, make sure that, I've nailed my target audience, my,
Mhm.
offer, my messages. So, pretty much everything, but I will say clear. Um, and yeah, at this point, I think I kind of like I think I stretched myself too much, so I lost that motivation. So I think if I can get clear, it will definitely help me get back to it. Mm,
Amazing.
yeah. Did I miss anything?
There's some self-reflection. You can pick however many, like you can answer one or all of them, but a little bit about kind of like maybe some self-limiting beliefs or fears or anything you want to kind of talk about around confidence and the stage and all that.
I think probably the fact that um, I am quite confident with um, the system in the UK, and I'm doing a lot of research for the system in Greece, but I feel that, I'm kind of like having the imposter syndrome and,
Yeah.
that I'm not good enough and, I can't support people there, which is not necessarily true. I've already supported quite a few, but I still have that. So I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like, yeah, they found me. I'm trying to hide to be able to speak, and they found me.
I love it.
Uh, So yeah, I think that's the main thing right now.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. All right.
Yeah.
I think, Haya, are you on there? If you can't talk, that's okay, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of jump in and no pressure. Okay.
Hey, yes, one
Hey.
sec.
Yeah, take your
Just trying
time.
to find my video. Hi, everyone. I'm Kaya. I was in the last cohort and I missed a couple of weeks. So Lisa so graciously said I can join again. And I just want to say that you guys are an amazing space. Lisa has been so supportive of me. I started off from like zero. I'm a new birth doula and I've gained so much confidence. And I started my social media just because of Lisa's push. And there's a lot to gain here. And I'm just still learning everything. So you guys are in a great space and I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, you're such a sweetie. Appreciate you.
I
And
mean it.
you should be so proud of yourself. It's really cool to see the growth, and there's something powerful about like 8 weeks in a row of us having this like accountability and momentum. So I'm really, really excited about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hiya, actually, while I get set up, why don't you tell everyone kind of like who you serve and where you're located and do the same prompts if you're open to
Yeah,
that, because
sure.
I think it would be
Totally.
beneficial.
So my name is Kaya and I live in the Boston area. And I have four little kids myself, and I was a very anxious new mom. And after each one of my births, I just felt a calling to go into this work. And I finally have a few minutes in my life to jump onto this passion. And it's been amazing. It's like literally exhilarating every time I go to a birth. It just like fills me up. And Lisa helped me really, and I'm sure you guys are gonna all do this work with like niching and like really figuring out exactly who your target audience is because as she'll give you this whole spiel, it helps you tremendously, really narrowing down. And I've chosen to niche myself to first time moms who are anxious and nervous and don't have a lot of information. And I'm Jewish and hi, Batya, another Orthodox Jewish mom here. And I would love to obviously serve, the Jewish moms and open to everyone though.
Love it. And why don't we throw a self-reflection in there? Because we all have them, no matter how many times we go through this program. It's like a life
Oh yeah.
lesson.
So wait,
Yeah.
remind me exactly what the
Yeah,
questions were. I'm looking
what's a
here.
belief about yourself or your business that you're ready to outgrow?
I think I was like really nervous because I was so brand new at this. And the imposter syndrome was very loud, especially like I'm trying to connect. And actually, this is a really great tip for everyone. A woman from the last cohort gave this tip to me to reach out to other doulas in town because if you want to try to get your name out there and they're, looking for a backup, you can, help them out. And so I actually two different duos I'm going to meet with over the next couple of weeks. And I'm excited about that. But back to the question, where did I go with this? The
No,
idea
that's
was like,
great.
yeah, no, it's just like I was so new to it. And I'm so nervous and like, who am I? And do I even know what I'm doing? And I don't, there's so much information and there's always more to learn. And so like it feels really scary. But I think like really just putting one step in front of the other and figuring out, what my next step is has been very helpful.
Good. Awesome. Appreciate that. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about confidence and we're going to go through an exercise. And by the end of the call, my hope is for you to have some prompts that you could use on social media, and across the board. And I truly want you to know that this translates no matter where you're at. So, like Katie has an agency, she's going to be taking this material and funneling it through the lens of how can I help, bring new leads to my business from an agency owner, perspective. And, how's that going to work with the women that I'm mentoring? And then, Abby, you're going to be putting it through the lens, in a different way. So if you ever get stuck on, hey, like help me make sure that this is applicable, don't hesitate to kind of interrupt really across the board with anything. Okay. But I promise you it does translate no matter where you're at or what you're looking through. Okay. So I think the biggest foundational thing that I want to establish, and the reason it's in this first week, is that chances are we're not going to feel confident right out of the gate. And we may have to do something messy and uncomfortable before we reach confidence. So I think if there's one thing that I want you to put into practice over the next couple of months, is that if you feel like you know what your gut is telling you the next step is, but there's fear around it, we never want to wait until the confidence comes to take that action. We want to take that action and step through the fear and know the confidence is coming later. And I know that sounds like common sense, but it is something that a lot of people will like subconsciously act in the opposite way. So that's something that I just want you to start to pattern in right from the beginning, because I believe confidence is built through action, which then serves as the evidence and the proof for yourself. And then our brains start to take it on as an actual belief of ours, but not until we take the action first. So the belief will not come first. The action must come first. Okay. So when you show up, whether it's on social media or in a consult or with a client or whatever that looks like, if you're presenting at a conference, do it imperfectly, because that is you building that proof so that you can trust yourself. So we're going to do what's called the confidence triangle. And what that entails is kind of figuring out where you have strength and comfort and where you have room to grow, or areas that feel a little less, um, that are weaker. Okay. So again, confidence starts with what you believe about yourself. In fact, it's more about what you believe is possible. So I want you to think about, what is a thought that makes you feel either small or doubtful, before you go to pitch or sell or even post on Instagram. Okay. And I want you to think about that in your mind or jot it down as kind of like a journal prompt. Um, and we're just going to kind of move through some of these prompts. So again, what is a thought that makes you feel doubtful or shrink when you're getting ready to post something or pitch something or sell? What is like a maybe a lie you tell yourself, or a story you tell yourself, or a belief that a self-limiting belief? Let's get more specific.
What if it's actually true?
I think that that's still okay, because it still could be a doubt. And then I think we could kind of we could kind of determine if it is or not, because sometimes it takes some serious dismantling before we believe that it's not true. Yeah. I would love to hear it if you're willing to share, but there's no pressure because these are very personal, but maybe we could all learn from it.
So I don't think that I specifically struggle with confidence. Like I've
Mhm.
always spoken my mind, like
Yeah,
straight up.
totally.
Um, so for me, it's like a little bit like something that makes me feel more doubtful every single time is that I love to talk, so I start rambling
Yeah,
and then I get sidetracked and I like the posts don't feel like punchy or whatever or like
yeah,
different podcasts that I do
yeah.
doesn't get to the point.
Okay, this is so common. Like, this is definitely a universal problem for some of us.
It's
And
like it's objectively true. Like it's just a fact that
yeah,
this content is just not good because it's not going where it needs to go.
yeah, I love
So
it. I
like
think that
objectively true.
yeah, yeah, and I think there is a percentage of truth in every belief that we have about ourselves too. So like that's I'm glad you brought that up because absolutely, there is some truth in whatever we're feeling or whatever's coming up for us. And so the beautiful thing is that once we put the awareness on it, like you just did, and once we write it down or have it in our brain or however we want to express that today, we can move from a place of taking actions to do the opposite or adjust it. And so I will tell you that like one of my favorite weeks is week 3, and it's closer to the beginning for a reason, and that's going to give us a lot of structure around our conversations. And I think that that's going to start to kind of bleed into your posting, your pitches. So I love that. I love that. So I think that's a beautiful one for you. There's also a lot to be said about that, like 80/20 rule with sales conversations, which is way harder than it sounds. And I think that's going to all be really helpful for this for you too. Love it. Does anyone else feel like they want to
Okay,
share
I'm
about?
saying
Yeah,
just one last thing. I'm not really following exactly what you're talking about, but
yeah,
like I guess
I
I'm
get
like
it.
open to seeing what it's gonna
Yeah,
be. So I'm
yeah,
excited.
yeah. It's, I don't expect you, and I appreciate that honesty because it's like, I know what I'm talking about, but you guys haven't been there yet. So it's totally okay. Yeah. Does anyone else feel called to kind of share like the thing that maybe the doubt that creeps up before they pitch, or the doubt that creeps up before they talk about an offer of theirs, or before they even post on social media? Like if there's anything that feels like a common theme or a story or anything like that, feel free to drop it in the chat or unmute if you want to share.
I'll just say mine real quick. So, like, I'm from the Midwest and we're like way too nice to the point where I feel like a lot of us are just bad at selling. Maybe I'm just
Okay.
projecting my own stuff on them, but whatever. So I just feel like before a console, I'm like, "Ugh, I'm gonna butcher like the sales pitch portion. And like, I'm pretty confident. Like, I love consoles. I think I do well. But when it comes to like, okay, here's what I have to offer and how much it costs, I just like feel so awkward. So I'd
Yeah.
love to get over that.
Yeah. Totally, totally doable. And like I said, I think bringing more structure and more clarity is going to help all of us work through this stuff. And then, Haya, great question. So I like to say that 80% of the time in a consultation, in a perfect world, the prospective client is talking, and only 20% of that time we are talking. And I sometimes will say that, and someone will be like, well, yeah, of course. But then when I watch recordings of clients who have asked me to kind of do like an audit of a consult, or I will find myself talking too much. Yeah, it is mind blowing. So I usually get 50/50. I get doulas that are like, well, yeah, of course I would only talk 20% of the time. And then I kind of like question whether that's really happening. And then on the flip side of that, I have others that are like, that would be extremely hard. And I'm like, yeah, it is extremely hard, but it's extremely effective. And we're gonna work on that too. Amelia, she said, when posting, it's usually the lack of engagement. So like, yeah, no response to questions, not enough likes. Yeah, that is definitely so tricky. When we're continuously posting and not getting the engagement. I totally hear you. Great question, Batia. So what I will do, like what I have done, is when I get on a consult call, I will say to the prospective client, I'm wondering if it's okay with you if I record this only for my own training purposes or for training purposes. Totally fine if you're not comfortable with that. But this is not something that I'm gonna, launch into the social media world or anything. And I'd say about 95% of the time, people will say that's totally fine. And then sometimes people will have a couple questions and then they're fine with it. And then you'll get a small percentage that says, no, I really don't want you to, and that's fine too. But that is definitely something that I almost say every time because then I will actually take my transcripts and kind of like take a look at what went well and what didn't. Yeah.
And that doesn't like derail the whole conversation for them. No?
Nope. And
Yeah.
we can totally talk about that. Like
No, because as
usually,
business owners, like
yeah,
if you asked me on the console, which I don't remember if you did, because it like okay, yeah, sure, no big
yeah,
deal, like just
I
record me,
did.
whatever. I don't even remember that, but like when it's like people
Mom,
B to
moms.
C, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like then it's like why are you doing this? Like, no, I
Yeah.
don't need this. It's like
Yeah. One of my favorite lines for moms is to say something like, if you're okay with it, I'd love to record this call because this conversation, no matter what the outcome, helps me better adjust my offers and packages to kind of like meet the needs of future clients. And usually they're like all on board. And that is the truth, right? Like whatever's revealed in those calls is the best data ever. In fact, I had an idea today for a reel where I want to kind of talk about how there's so many coaches out there that preach like don't ever get on a sales call for like a $40 offer or a $27 offer. And I actually don't agree with that personally. Um, I see why people say that, but I feel like unless you feel extremely confident with your conversions, that's actually one of the best ways to understand what your client needs. So yeah, I'm glad you asked that. It's great.
Lisa, you froze like when you were
Oh,
saying about recording calls. What is it that you ask the mothers
yeah.
before?
Yeah, so I love to say like I'd love to record this call if you're comfortable with that because what we talk about on this call, no matter what the outcome, is the best way for me to make adjustments to my packages and offers based on what I'm hearing your needs are.
Mm-hmm.
And it really helps me kind of adapt my services to my
Mm-hmm.
ideal client, which you are my ideal client. And so I really value the things that you say here. And usually when you say something like that, they're like all for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And it's not a fib because the data is so good, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely, Batya. That's going to very much come with like the consultation structure and the types of questions that you start asking to really elicit like deeper responses from these moms and then really helpful clarifying questions so that again, like they launch into a deep answer and we just sit in active listening mode. Love it. Okay. So I want each of you to take that doubt or story or self-limiting belief, the one that you get before you post something or pitch or sell, and I want you to just take a moment and flip it into what I'll call a power statement that your most confident self would believe. So an example, if you can see my screen, is a simple belief from somebody that entered this program could be like, I'm not great at sales. It could be that simple. And the version after we flip it could be, I am learning to sell with ease because I care deeply for my clients. Okay. Those are two very different stories, right? But obviously we all have to start somewhere. So hopefully that gives you enough to kind of take your belief and to Batia's point, there is some truth in there. But it's very different to tell ourselves, I'm learning to sell with ease because I care deeply about my clients, opposed to constantly telling ourselves, like, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at selling. I'm never going to be good at selling. Okay, so no matter what that is, it's okay if you stretch it from what I've got here. It doesn't matter. But take that self-limiting belief and flip it for yourself and write that down or keep it in your mind.
So we basically lie to ourselves until it becomes true.
We are shifting our mindset, but we're doing it through actions. So we're going to start by writing that thing down. And then as we move through these weeks, we're going to start proving ourselves, proving that our flipped belief is the truth. And then we're going to have the evidence and the receipts so that it's no longer a lie.
So if I'm saying I speak clearly and confidently and I don't ramble, then that's not true right now in my posts and in
Or
my podcast.
maybe it's not true always. But I've seen
Okay.
your Instagram, and there's no way I'm going to sit here and say that you ramble on every single reel because that's not true.
Because that's my biggest thing that I think about. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a big one. And yes,
Mhm.
there's some truth to it, I think, but also we can flip it on its head and then we can prove it wrong. So I love the honesty.
Okay. Got it.
And I don't want to go too far down a rabbit hole, but I also think that your personality, the boldness, the rawness is a huge leverage point and uniqueness that we don't want to water down either. So, so I'm just throwing that out there because I will absolutely not be, quieting you through this process as much as giving more clarity. To me, those are very different.
No, it's just that I want to say everything in one, and
Yeah,
like then I'm just not explaining myself enough to say
yeah,
all of that because that would be like every post of mine could be explained in 5 different podcasts.
yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, simplicity is going to be a huge part of our foundation. And usually I will die on this hill of like, it actually takes more restraint to simplify our message and have more repetition within our message. That is harder than teaching all the things and having like a chaotic message. So you're bringing up some seriously good points. Okay. Hopefully, I'm not rushing you. Just let me know if you need more time. But we're going to move into the energy piece of selling, which again is supercharged. Confidence is contagious. And so when you are coming from a place of confidence and genuinely believing these statements, these power statements about yourself, the women that you encounter are going to be picking up on that and they are going to be based on how you make them feel, not the many things that are coming out of our mouths. So I want you to think of a moment in time where you felt super magnetic, like in your element, fully yourself. And just picture it. It does not have to be linked to this business. It could be any moment in your life. I want you to think about that. I want you to maybe even close your eyes if needed. And I want you to like embody that experience. What were you doing? What were you feeling in your body? What was that experience like? Start to really be specific with what it felt like and what that experience was and how that felt in the moment. And then really yeah, Katie.
Sorry. Okay, this fan is distracting the hell out of me, and I don't know how
Oh,
to
my
get
fan?
rid of it. My fan,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. I keep trying to fix it, but
Oh.
it's making me dizzy. I'm just hoping it's not making y'all annoyed because
I
I
can't
blurred
even
my
see it.
background. Okay.
We're
I
good.
can't really see it so much. Um, okay, one more time the question.
Yeah, no problem. So I want you to think of a time where you were like feeling the most magnetic, like very much in your element, fully yourself, just showing up in that like energetic aura. And I want you to really pinpoint when that was, what were you doing, and kind of like put some descriptors to like how were you feeling in that moment.
Hmm, okay.
And then once you have that thing, I want you to imagine almost bottling it up in a mason jar and really thinking about that as your energetic signature. And the idea there is to spend the next 7 days bringing more of that energy to your content, to your consults, if you have any, to your conversations in the DMs, maybe, really everywhere. Like even not even outside of your business. Like how can we tap into that jar, unscrew the lid when needed, and pour more of that into our week, especially the stuff that we put our hands on in our business. And this might take a little bit of like journaling, driving around, doing some self-reflection, coming up with ways to bring ourselves back to that. Because sometimes we get lost in the weeds of the day to day and we completely pull away from that.
So this becomes a thing to like keep doing and just be able to refer back to.
Yeah, absolutely. I want you to almost have like, do whatever you got to do. If you have to go get an actual mason jar and like put it on a shelf somewhere so you see it every day as a reminder, do it. Um, if you sit down to create a post for you're someone who's using social media within your business, because I also recognize not everybody is. I think most of us are, but like it's not a make or break it. But literally when I sit down to create something on Instagram, I will like take my proverbial jar, unscrew the lid, and be like, is this a magnetic piece of content or is this just me checking something off a list? Right? Like, am I bringing Lisa V energy to this creation? Am I depleted? And maybe today's not the day to post, which I'm perfectly fine with. There was a time though where I wasn't. There was a time where I was like, I gotta post 7 days a week. That's the only way I'm gonna be successful. And that was the biggest crock. But we get stuck in that sometimes, I think. So So I just want you to have this proverbial mason jar with this magnetic energy signature stuffed inside and know that you have that you can pull out and access. And sometimes you have to actually be proactive. Like maybe you have to put on your favorite song and dance around like a wild woman for 10 minutes before you post on Instagram because otherwise you're stuck in a certain stagnant energy, like whatever you have to do, it's just like coping skills. It's very similar to that. What do you have to do to find your rhythm, get into your rhythm? You better believe that I've got my own little ritual before every sales call. And it sounds really hokey, but I'm telling you, it pulls you out of that like stagnant energy and puts you into that more magnetic space, which is so contagious. Okay? So spend the week figuring out what that is and maybe have some fun and send it in Telegram and send us a picture or a description or like share it because then it becomes more real and it'll force you and hold you accountable to actually do it even though it feels silly. Okay? Okay. Now, let's talk about what is one small visible action that we can take this week that your confident self would take, even if she didn't feel ready. So maybe this is you testing something on social media that makes you a little uncomfortable, right? Or maybe it is inviting someone to jump on a consultation that you've maybe been avoiding. Or maybe there is a consult that you already had that you haven't really followed up with, and you're gonna bring yourself to take that action. I'm seeing smiles, which means I'm almost hitting all the nails on the head. Maybe you're gonna go live on Instagram and you've never gone live on Instagram, or you're gonna do the equivalent to Facebook, like whatever your platform is. And I would love for you to take a moment and write down what this micro, small visibility type action that you're going to take this week. That's a little bit outside of your comfort zone. Doesn't have to be massive, but we might as well start making our little bit of homework list. I know, it's such a, I hate that rule. I hate that rule. And maybe I think that you can join someone's live. So maybe over the next 8 weeks, we can be strategic. And for those of you that are dying to go live but don't have that capability yet, like maybe I could go live and you could join and we could turn it into a little bit of a fun case study or something. I'm more than willing to do that. But I know I've had many clients who don't love that. And I don't love that either because I feel like even if you have 30 followers, you might have something more interesting to say than someone with 10,000 followers. Okay, so is anyone stuck? Do we all have a micro action or a visibility type action? Does anyone want to talk through it or need help figuring out what this could look like for them?
Um, so I did this last night. I don't know if this would help anybody. Because talking into your camera is awkward. Like
Yeah.
I can have conversations on Zoom call all day with somebody and I'm
Yes.
fine. So maybe just like record yourself and pretend you're on a Zoom call with somebody or just like talking to a girlfriend. Um, I recorded a video of myself yesterday because my husband and brother-in-law were like sipping on whiskey. I couldn't get my husband out of the house. I could not get him to leave. I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna record myself
I love it.
talking. And it helped. Like I just it helped me. I don't know. I obviously if I'm gonna post this material, I'm gonna go back and like do clips because some of it's awkward, but it's still a good practice, I
Love
think.
it.
And I know the whole live thing, I do have more than 1,000. I have like 1,200, I think, but I've never gone live because I'm just like you can't edit anything out, and that scares me because I do talk a lot, like sometimes too much. And so yeah, I just feel like I would be too vulnerable and say the wrong thing, and I couldn't take it back because I said it already.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I love it. I love
Can
that.
I can I
Go for it.
just share something that's like based on that?
Please.
Just like for you, Katie, because I like when I said that I was confident, like I've been there in the place where my first ever podcast that I've taken down since, it was just me talking and editing every single second. And I just wasn't able to deal with the fact that I say or whatever, all the
Mm,
things that like
Mhm.
little details that bother me about listening to my own voice. So first of all, people don't hear it that way. That's what I learned. But I learned that if I just like do it enough, like do enough repetitions, then I just get over that and I get the confidence for that. So I've been there and I'm past that already. So basically like I believe that you can get there and I believe that I can get to other places where I want to get to because I've done it with that thing specifically.
yeah.
So I
Okay.
wanted to share.
That's helpful. I do say a lot and I do like
So
That's
So
no,
I've
okay.
been on
people
one
don't believe.
podcast and I did
Yeah.
that a lot.
It's okay.
No, people don't believe that you could actually get there because they haven't done it. Like
Hmm.
they haven't just done the reps and then gotten there. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
that's something that I saw like actually like 2 years ago I was that and now I'm
Okay.
Yeah.
not.
I love this conversation for so many
Thank you.
reasons. And I have lots of little hacks that I think we can all share. Like Katie just shared one. This is why I love the group because there's so many little hacks and tweaks and tips and things that can help with all this. So one thing I've done is like, so I'll make my bullet points because I've been on podcasts where I have no idea what they're going to throw at me and ask me, and that's like a lot scarier than preparing an agenda for my own episode. So I will take like bullet point thoughts and I've put myself through Sell to Serve like every round. So everything you are all doing, I do every time. And so I'm able to get on someone else's podcast and I know my messaging so clear now. It wasn't always like that, that if someone throws like a certain question at me, it will fall under a category or an umbrella within my messaging. And then I feel confident talking about that blurb. And I've done it so many times. So don't forget that you're all going to get to a place where we have refined your message and put different things in buckets. And you're going to get to a place where you're repeating the same ideas so many times that you can talk from it in your sleep, no matter how it's asked. So yeah, I'm super excited to the growth from week 1 to 8 is unimaginable. It's gonna be awesome. So okay, I love this. I love this. And Katie, I just have to say that you're so articulate and the conversations I've had with you both one-on-one and in groups, I just want you to hear an outside voice say that you would crush an Instagram live. And it wouldn't matter how many times ums and likes and things like that in this space, in this birth space specifically, I think are way more accepted than we give ourselves credit for. And I think that more than ever in the online space, in an era where there's so much AI, don't forget that that makes you human. And we need to always be grappling with like, are these perfectionist tendencies or are these you know what I mean? Like put like I'm every day I have to ask myself like is that the perfectionist version of you saying that you can't post that thing the way that it is? And usually the answer is yes, and then I'll just put it out messy with mistakes, with rough edits and these this is the evidence, right? So you're gonna get there and I'm super excited about it. Okay,
Sorry, I just want to say that when
please.
I you liked it, I think the post I just posted, I was giving my doula a shout out, that one.
Yes.
I recorded that in one take, but I did go through because of the perfectionist in me. I did go through and edit out those likes and ums
Oh
and
my gosh, you did.
um yeah, but it wasn't, I didn't have to do it
It
too
wasn't
much,
that
but it
much.
took me a while because
Yeah.
I have to like keep rewatching it and all
Yeah.
that. But I want to get to the point where I don't have to do that.
Yeah. I'm so glad you shared that. And I think that one thing I want you to always, all of us ask ourselves. So you did that in one take. It was
Hmm.
awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
And now, if you were to go and do that again down the road and really sit with yourself and say, could my time be better utilized somewhere else right now, opposed to editing out likes and ums?
Mm,
And chances are you're going to say, yeah, there's this other thing that I could do that could move the needle more, or that could like put me closer to a sales conversation or knock something off my to-do list. So I will often ask myself that, and then I'll just like close my eyes and hit post, and then I'm always pleasantly surprised, right?
okay.
Right? So I think you're on to something, and you just proved to yourself that you can do it in one take.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it. It was random. I
You
was,
just did it.
but I was really feeling it. I was really feeling proud of her
You
and
could
like
tell.
I needed to share about it, you know?
I love it. You could tell there was such genuine. That's what it felt like. I felt like you just grabbed your camera and wanted to honor somebody in your world, and that's what you did. Yeah,
Cool.
love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so with those three things, so we talked about the mindset piece of this energy triangle, okay? And we talked about how confidence is going to start with what you believe about yourself and what you believe to be possible. Then we talked about that contagious magnetism and the energy, like the tangible energy of you being in your element. And then we talked about taking action to build the proof. And we even wrote down one of the actions we're going to take. I want you to just look at those 3 points of the triangle and acknowledge for yourself, like, where am I the most comfortable and where am I the least comfortable? So are you somebody who like is really good about the mindset piece, but you get stuck, feel like embodying that energy or keeping that energy or tapping into that energy? Or are you somebody that can like tap into that energy really easily, but then you get hung up on taking the action because of whatever? Or do you tell yourself a whole lot of stories and you got to work on the mindset piece, but you tend to take the action. So I know this is a little conceptual, but usually people are able to see like an easy winner and then something that they want to kind of narrow down and work on.
What if all three are difficult?
That's okay. That's totally fine because maybe you have never really compartmentalized confidence in your life. Or maybe you've never been an entrepreneur before. And so confidence
Mhm.
wasn't hitting you in the face every single day the way that it does for us solopreneurs.
Right. True
You
point.
know, I do think that when you start your own business, confidence is something you can't run from because it's going to reveal itself in a billion different ways every single day, right?
Totally.
So it's okay to honor the fact that, like, hey, this is brand new for me, and I've never really struggled with this in this way. And that's okay.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone need to kind of talk through that or need any or want any discussion around that before we move into the homework and then we can kind of open it up to a discussion? Any sticking points? Okay. And like I said, we always have the Telegram space. And aside from like some small boundaries, like if I'm sleeping, obviously you're not going to hear from me, or like sometimes I'll try not to be super into it on the weekend. But chances are you're going to hear from me pretty quickly because it's important to me that you aren't left hanging. So, yeah,
Lisa, actually, do you mind if we have a conversation?
absolutely.
So I've not been in the best state emotionally right now, and just a lot of things going on, and I, I've noticed I don't want to post, and
Okay.
so I like that, Mason jar, getting into the right energy, is a really good one. Um, and also like I got really busy with the Black Friday special, so
Yeah.
like that took over a lot of my time, just
Yep.
being that I don't have, that much time to allot to this. And now like I want to start posting like from your challenge, I finally like did my first video and like
Yay.
went on a rant for 5 minutes about a specific topic, which I got good feedback for. I mean, it was
Good.
long, so I have to figure out if I want to do quick, short 1 minute reels or, 5 minute long explanations. And I think, there's a benefit to both.
Yep.
But now like I, have a couple of weeks in front of me and like I want to try and think of, content and to post. And I'm like lacking the motivate. I don't know if it's a motivation or just like I'm afraid, I'm nervous, and like that whole spiral I have to start over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe a little coaching on how to jump back into
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. First, I just want to validate like how difficult it can be to create content when we're lifing or in an emotional like I think what I want to say is I'm here to normalize the ups and downs, emotional ups and downs. And I think we live in a day and age where we see the highlight reel so often that we forget that people are also struggling. Couple of things that have really worked for me that may or may not speak to you is being honest about where you're at emotionally. So one thing that I have really leaned into with my social media, as you probably all know, or maybe you don't, is like when I'm really struggling, I tend to post about it. That is very healing for me. I know that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. There is nothing wrong with wanting to keep things private. That is your choice, and there's no right or wrong answer at all. But sometimes there could be a healing or a community or almost like letting other people in your audience hold space for you, even if that's a foreign concept as
Right.
a
No, I
mother.
agree with you. And like vulnerability breeds connection. I think that's your line. I totally agree. I just feel like right now I'm like so new to it and I have like
Yeah,
all 10 posts that I'm not gonna like
yeah,
start unloading my whole, like I don't feel like
yeah,
it's appropriate. I
yeah,
do agree with you in general on that.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. And maybe So if you're like, I kind of want to do that, but I don't feel like it's appropriate, you could always test it in your stories. Stories, I think, lend themselves more so to the behind the scenes moments in the real and the raw, and they're less curated and they don't live there very long. So stories are a great place to like have these little backdoor conversations with your followers. So that could be something you test out. Um, and it's also perfectly fine to put in your stories like I'm going through something, so I'm probably not going to post for a few days and, you know, I don't know, like just sit with me here if you could or, say a prayer or like whatever it is that like resonates for you and your audience. But I think the stories could be a place for that. Um, and then I think again, it's for me it comes back to clarity. So I think what I want to say is that when we've got very clear foundational beliefs and values that make up our brand and our offers and our services, when we are feeling not motivated to post, it's so much easier to post because we're able to say, like, here's where I left off. Here's the thing that my audience needs to hear from me today. Here's that, here's the blog post from 3 days or from 3 weeks ago that I'm not done communicating to my women, right? And so I think bringing the clarity and the strategy to our message also helps us move through those rough patches where we're like, this is not fun right now. You
Right.
know,
I guess that's probably it. Like, I don't
yeah,
have so much clarity as to where I want to go and what I want to
yeah,
say just at the moment.
yep,
So
yep. So I think like
that's probably
I
another
hate
stalling factor.
I hate to simplify it or like boil it down to something so simple, but at the end of the day, I
No,
think it's
sure.
clarity. Um, and I'll just come out and say, like, the first 2 years of my business, I had no clarity. And so posting was such a chore. Like such a chore because I was like, not only do I not feel like posting right now, but like I don't even know what the point of this is because it's not really making sense to me. It's not going to make sense to them either,
Right,
right?
right.
So I think that this is a really good place to almost segue into one of the things I think could be really beneficial for all of us over the next 7 days, which is I want you to take a look, zoom out, and look at your business from a bird's eye lens. I don't care if you've been in business 15 years or 5 days, this is still something you could benefit from. And I want you to say, what are the things that my ideal client absolutely needs to know in order to hire me? Okay, what are the things that my ideal audience needs to believe or needs to know in order to hire me? And what are the values that I bring to the table that highlight my unique approach or my unique lived experience or my unique lens or perspective on birth or postpartum or motherhood? Okay. And then from that place, I want you to create a list of maybe 10 statements. I joke, I shouldn't joke, but I joke and say these are like your 10 commandments.
Mhm.
Okay. And then we're going to boil those down to even less, but start with 10. Okay. So if you're like, what are you talking about? For me, I could say one of my beliefs is that selling is energetic. Selling is an energy exchange. Okay. And if you're going to buy sell to serve or one of my smaller ticket items or one-on-one coaching from me or whatever you're going to buy from me, you have to believe that statement in one way or another. Okay. Um, or I might say that sales leads to service and we have to sell in order to serve, and that we can sell in a heart-led way that's not icky. If you're going to buy something from me, you have to believe that to be true on some level in order to see the value in what I bring to the table. And so you all are going to have these commandments, if you will, or these statements, and don't be afraid to be polarizing. Okay? So I want to challenge you as one of the homeworks, and I'm
Can you
not trying
repeat the
to,
questions again?
yeah. Um, So the question is, if you had to come up with 10 statements, beliefs, theories, themes that your ideal audience would have to believe or understand in order to hire you, in order to feel safe hiring you, what are those things? And a lot of times, your approach, your methodology, your perspective, your unique lived experience, those are going to be totally rolled into these statements. Okay. So,
So
like
is it that they know about you or that you believe? I'm
that,
just
yeah,
trying
what
to.
both. You're going to have a mixture. So, it's like, what do they have to understand? What do they have to believe about you or this topic or your perspective in order to hire you? Right? Because what we're going to build out of that is essentially your content pillars. I don't love that word because there's so many different meanings to it, but it's kind of like I want you to be rotating a set of beliefs and ideas over and over and over because that repetition is what's going to bring the clarity. Okay?
Mhm. And how do we get that from that, the three pillars?
Yeah, so I would say once you have like your 10 ideas, your 10 thoughts, beliefs, perspectives, um, then I want you to kind of see if you can, if there's any overlap, right? So, like, if you had to boil them down to three main topics or main ideas, what are those things? Okay. Um, yeah, Batia, let's talk about it because I think that that's very common.
So like where what I'm thinking with this specifically is I'm not sure if it's direct or just related,
Yeah.
but maybe maybe what I'm serving is not what people are looking for. That's what I keep coming back to, or it's just not in front of enough people, but I don't know which one it is.
Okay. So let's be more specific. Are you saying like, hey, I've got my ideal client in mind, but my offer feels disconnected because people aren't like tripping over themselves to come and buy it?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Can you add any specificity? Because I think you're on to something, but I'm not 100% sure I know the
Right.
what's the
So
peg and what's the square.
specifically, maybe I don't have my ideal client enough nailed down, but
Okay.
really, really um that that I'm trying to like think how to say this.
Yeah, it's okay.
Um really, really that maybe people are just not interested in religious birth classes.
Okay. So I thought that's where you were going with
Yeah.
it, but I wanted to be sure. So, in my not so humble opinion, I think they absolutely are, but I think we have to package it different.
So none of my clients were looking for that. They just ended up for some reason going for me or
Right.
like some other thing that they heard from someone and
Yep.
like they're just like, okay, let's just give this a try.
Okay. So,
They weren't looking for like that religious birth education.
yeah. So again, I think that the core of what you offer and bring to the table is 100% sought after, but the packaging around it might need tweaking. And
Hmm.
I'm living this right now. So, I don't know if any of you listen to my podcast, but the most recent one I talked a little bit about this, and if you haven't listened to it, I think you'll enjoy it. Last week, Tuesday. And it was about how for the longest time I resisted talking about social media or like coaching on social media because I very much am like, I'm not a social media coach. I'm not a content coach. I don't even think that my Instagram is really anything that special, but I use it as a sales tool. And And so what I started recognizing was so many women in my DMs asking for help from me around social media. And I'm like, I'm the sales coach. Like, why do you want my advice? But I started to realize that like meeting them where they were at meant offering something like my Instagram bio audit.
Mm.
And and so once I got those women on a call, I understood that what they really needed help with was selling. But they weren't seeing it that way. So I wonder if there's some work that we can do. Well, I don't wonder. I know this is the work we're
It's
gonna
funny
do.
for me because because I guess like the social media for me thing for me is like I hate this, I don't want to do it. But like the selling is the thing. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
the opposite.
yeah,
But like
yeah.
it's just hard for me to see how to get there. So
Yeah, so I think like what we do know about your ideal client is they want a certain type of birth experience and they
right.
want to be a certain type of informed, right?
Yeah.
So the
But I
outcome.
think it's like just general, like anybody else who just wants to feel like they're doing the right thing.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
think we need to lead them to understand that the right thing is taking your childbirth ad.
Yeah. But it's not
So,
necessarily the right thing. Like there's plenty of right ways to do it.
but they
So, and
want
I keep
you.
saying that in my messaging. So I'm like, you
Yeah,
can take any birth quiz. I'm
yeah,
like,
we're gonna
I'm not
dial.
supposed to say that.
Yeah, no, I think there is a way that you can
Yeah.
still,
Can I add as a
No,
please,
Orthodox
but I
Jewish
believe
woman?
that. So yeah.
please.
But yeah, I think that, other Orthodox from women love the whole Torah perspective. In fact, I teach women who are not necessarily religious, and I add in the spiritual part to birth because I think it's so beautiful and it's so empowering and on its own. But like Lisa was saying, maybe figuring out how to market yourself without like it bolded. Like I saw your name. I didn't check you out yet, but I saw your name, Torah Birthing, and I'm like, Torah Birthing? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like like is it like pushing people away?
yeah,
That's my
to be
thing.
honest, and
Yeah.
yourself, you have that self awareness. I think the answer is yes. Like, because when I think of birth, of course, I think about God. He's the third partner in creation. That's what we believe. But I don't really want like Torah thrown in there and the same word as birthing. Like, of course, it's so
Yeah.
important. I'm of the same belief as you. It's such an important
The
part of the birthing.
issue is that my entire birth course is that because like so but the like it's in every single part. Like I have mindset tracks that are based on different sources and
I
different
think
Which
that
things.
might
I'm
be
sure that's
So
okay.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
but
But
that's
just
not
Yeah.
the only
maybe
thing, like in the whole thing. So I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's okay in your course, right? So like, okay, let me put it this way. If I said to each and every one of you, I want you to join Sell to Serve because we're going to do a bunch of sales call role play. Most of you would be like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. But can I tell you that every cohort we get to that place and every time everyone's like, I love this. This is so helpful. But I'm not leading with that. And so I think that it's okay that it's in your course. I would love to hear Tawny's thoughts too, because I think that this is so cool and this is the universe at play as always. But you have two women here that have like lived experience. I think it's okay that it's in the course. I think it's the marketing of it that we could play with. And that's
So
that's a great,
I know that I need to switch my whole website and my
don't
whole
worry
name.
about
I'm
that.
just I'm just afraid of doing that because it's so much work.
Yeah,
And also
I
I
hear
don't know
you.
what's better than that.
We will
Because
test it on Instagram.
I cannot use my name because there's at least 200 other people in the world, I want to say, who have the exact same name as me.
Wow.
Like I have the
Yeah.
most classic Jewish name.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
love it.
not anything original and I hate that.
Yeah.
Um
I
that's
I
okay.
think
It doesn't need to be your
yeah,
name. There's
you're
plenty
on
of
to
options
something.
out
right.
there.
You're on to something. This is not an overhaul. We're going to make tweaks, okay? A lot of the core material is fine, in my opinion. It's okay that I hit you all over the head with sales stuff the whole 8 weeks. You're open to it now. But when I was selling it to you, that was not my approach. And so I think it's less tweaks than you think. I don't want you to walk away overwhelmed today.
I mean, changing my whole website and
We're not there yet.
email is
We're not there
is a
yet.
lot.
I promise you, as
Yeah.
someone who has rebranded a billion times, we're not even going to
Hmm.
go that far. We're just going to test it
Okay.
first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Tawny can talk, and it's okay if you can't, Tawny, but if you do want to speak to this, feel free. Or maybe you all can connect even outside of this call. But I do believe that there's strength in your niche. It is
No,
niche.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry it came up because like it's
No,
just my biggest thing right now,
don't
and it's been and
apologize.
also the whole time. So like it's not. I don't think it's like directly related. It's just
I think
been
it
the
is.
thing. Yeah.
No, you're getting clarity around your message. It is
Right.
directly related. Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay to repel certain people. We're gonna find the medium for sure. Awesome.
Is there, oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
Hey, this is Tani. I was just wondering what your concern was. I missed the first part of what you were struggling with in relation to what your niche is.
Batia, can you, yeah, fill her in?
So I specifically work with Orthodox Jewish women, like like
Hmm.
um like even like ultra Orthodox, I would say. So it's like very it's very specific and it's like hard to figure out like but I've heard from multiple people that what my whole brand name is a complete turn off to that. And I want to be like clear and out there and like proud of who I am and what it is, but I don't want to like turn people off when I think that that's a big turn off for people. So that's the gist of everything.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm coming from, so I'm a, I guess, I follow the Torah, but like I was a Christian and then I began to follow Torah. So I'm not a messianic, or yeah, I think it's called messianic Torah. I'm not quite sure.
You're
But
so
the
you're a
point is that
messianic Jew or a
I don't think
messianic.
so because we don't
Oh,
call ourselves Jewish because we do follow, or we do believe in Jesus and everything like that. We call him Yeshua. But my point is
so I
that there,
understand. Okay, so can I just
yeah,
say like it is very like you have to like really be in this specific community. Like nothing bad, just you have to be in
right.
this specific community to understand like the context. So everything that Chaya was saying, like she's like, yeah, that's not really a good name. I was like, I know. I just
So,
hate that you
Batya,
say
I
that.
jumping in just
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
exactly, I understand totally where you are. Them hiring you as a doula, they automatically know that you're a Torah observant Jew and that your perspective will be in line with Torah. So you don't have to have your
That's a good
whole
point.
brand around that because the fact that they're hiring you and not some random secular New York doula, which I'm sure there's a dime a dozen of them,
Mhm.
is go already telling them, I have hired an Orthodox woman to help me. She understands my values. She understands my, respects my culture and the nuances of the culture. So I don't think you need to brand
Right.
yourself around the Torah because you are the Torah.
Right. No, the differentiating factor is that it's like more than that. Like I know plenty of doulas in our community who serve um people outside the community and they do it very well. Like it goes vice versa. It's just like people who are specifically interested and I found those people some of them who are specifically interested in like just going into it in a way that is like very very heavy on the religious aspect of it.
Right. And
So
that's a beautiful thing,
yeah,
but you're not going to brand your whole birthing course on that
you're
one
right.
thing. You're going to definitely include it. And I think it's a beautiful
No,
asset that you have that other
yeah,
people don't.
right. No,
Yeah.
just that's the distinction. Like maybe I'll show you like my birth course if you have
Yeah,
if
I'm
you're
happy to look at
interested
it.
in
I would love
seeing
to see
it
it.
like and you have time. Um, but like it really is heavy on the religious. Like every single thing is from a religious lens,
And that's
basically.
okay.
And
Yeah.
maybe that's too much for some people, but for the right
I'm
people, they really
sorry.
like it.
Sorry
Yeah,
to interrupt. So I am
sorry.
a Christian,
But that's not a turnoff at all to me because when I see other doulas infusing Christianity into their practice, I think it's beautiful. And it's something that I haven't been that comfortable doing myself, but to see other people doing it, I think it's really great to be authentic in that way because you are going to reach the right mamas.
Yeah.
Maybe you just need help with the branding right
Yeah.
now, but I
Oh,
think
big time. So I
it's
think we established that it's big time, right?
yeah,
But
it's
I
your
think,
niche, so
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great
you should
niche
own it.
though. So there's clarity in the niche, and I think what Katie's saying is so true. And I think Tawny was, saying in the chat that it's a small niche, but it's 100% a market. And I think Alex Hermosi talks about how like we think our market is so much smaller than it actually is, and usually we haven't even scratched the surface of our market. There was a time where I was like, oh, doulas is too small of a niche. Am I insane? I think a million doulas getting certified every day,
Mm.
right? So I think that this is a really good discussion. We're gonna all work to figure out how can we bring more of us to our personal brand and lead with that. Okay, so that's number one. We're all going to walk away with more of that for sure. And then, because I'm telling you, that is your biggest sales tool right there. And then number two, more clarity around like, what is my message and how am I communicating it through social media so that I understand it and my client understands it. And then I'm just on rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It's really, then it just becomes a game of how creative can I get in giving this message out? How can I take like every possible angle, every metaphor, every analogy to help my ideal client understand why I'm different? And that's really what we're going to focus on. So less is always going to be more in this program. I love it. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Sorry for hogging the
Yay.
whole conversation.
Don't ever apologize because usually we're all learning, we can all tie it back to ourselves. So, this little exercise that is in this Google Doc, you will have access to here, but you'll also have access to this within the portal. There's like basically a content challenge for you to play around with. And I just want you to decide for yourself like whether or not this is something you want to do, or maybe something on today's call inspired a different social media related action. I don't care. I'm not like checking your homework, but if you're like, yeah, I really want to try this prompt, then it worked really well for some previous clients. But basically, um, it's just a 3-day challenge. So on day one, you're helping put words and you're helping articulate the transformation that you deliver, very feelings and emotional based, okay? And then day two is helping your audience feel the confidence that you have. So it's very related to that like energy exchange. And it's helping you show up in that like I'm the real deal and I know I can help you energy. So there's a prompt around that. And then day three is telling a story. So this could be like a case study or maybe a story from your own life, however you want to interpret it. But essentially, I just want to help give you some prompts and some examples to motivate you and get you excited about posting this week. If you do one, great. If you do all three, great. If you do none of them, but you journal a bunch and something beautiful comes out of that, that's okay too. Okay, so use it to whatever, advantage you'd like to really get your creative juices flowing. Okay? All right, I would love, and it's okay if you can't, but I would love for everybody who can to show their faces so we could take a fun photo so I can document this beautiful first call. I don't have makeup on and I'm sweaty and I'm in Florida and it is what it is. There we go. And let's do Goofy because Goofy is the most fun. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna say one, two, three, and do like a fun face or a big smile or like something. I think I'm gonna give myself rabbit ears. Yeah. Okay. One, two, three. Ah, love it. And then if it's okay with you, I'm gonna tag you all. And this was so great. And this replay will be in Telegram. So I'm pretty sure we're good to go on this new thread. And then I will have like a separate little space for all the replays and this Google Doc that I originally shared in the chat. Let me actually circle back and make sure in case someone came on late that you've got it. So here it is in the chat. And every week we'll kind of add to this Google Doc, and then you'll have all the replays in there as well. Awesome. Okay, don't be a stranger. If you have questions, if you get hung up on anything, if you feel like your checklist isn't complete and you need my help with that, it's still the first week, so don't expect yourself to have everything figured out. All right, let me know if anything comes up from the portal. Otherwise, I will see you back here Monday next week, 2 o'clock Eastern. And I will see you in Telegram in the meantime. Bye, all. Thanks for being here. Awesome.